This one's for they regular. Round the clock listener. Baby king pushing it. Off the street customer. Barber shop regular. Looking for his lady luck or early lucky lady. The one that he making baby. Maybe this is for that.
Thank you all for coming. Thank you. That's amazing. You guys happy to be here? Yeah! Awesome, awesome. Let me just check who's actually in the house. Do we have any single people? Yeah. Wow. People are doing this like, I don't know, it's touch and go right now. Any people in relationships who aren't married? Just still dating? You don't seem to be the happiest so far. And are there any people who are married here? Woo! Okay. Let's speak to the people who are in relationships who aren't married. Where were you at again? Just find out. It'll disappear now. All right, brother. You're here. You're in the... Hey, how you doing, man?
Not too bad, man. Not too
bad. Where's your partner?
At home, basically.
At home, you're like, these tickets are too expensive. I can't spare a free ticket for you, babe. That's nice, but you came out, she know you're here?
She does.
Okay, cool. Wonderful. Do you guys remember how you met?
Yeah. It's over a bucket of sick over a Halloween party.
Over a bucket of sick at a Halloween party?
Yeah, neither of us. It was looking up for somebody else. One did one ponytail, somebody did the other.
Okay, so a girl is throwing up. You guys held a ponytail each. You guys held a ponytail each.
Oh, yeah.
Because the tail of like two would be just like, it's too much. Okay, so you held a ponytail each. What was the first thing you said to her?
Somebody got the kitchen roll?
More romantic words have never been spoken. Somebody get the kitchen roll. All romantic moments begin with someone get the kitchen roll and end with someone get the kitchen roll. You're nasty. All of you, you're nasty. You got what I was talking about. Nice. Who else is in a relationship? Yeah, you're in a relationship? Yeah?
I am.
Hi, awesome. How did you meet your partner?
Online dating.
Online dating, cool. You're fans of online dating, you're like, ooh. You never seen someone on online dating who wears waistcoats. That's just what's... It's like, wow, are they on there? Oh, it's awesome. Do you remember the first thing you typed to her?
Get the kitchen roll.
Give a round of applause. Get the kitchen roll. Get the kitchen roll. It's a classic. It seems to have a high hit rate so far. All right. I'm not asking to make you guys feel uncomfortable. I'm genuinely interested in how people even meet today. I want to know how people get together. You know, I feel like the fairy tale died. You know, the fairy tale where the guy walks into the room, he sees a woman across the way, he walks over, he says something cool, then they live happily ever after. I feel like that died. And the moment it died was when a friend of mine, she showed me a text message that she got from a guy that she just met. Now, she couldn't speak to him, so she gave him a number. It's the first text he sent her. I want to have sex with you. Just a thought. Smiley face. This guy is a genius. Clearly she's reading this like, who does this guy think I am? With a smiley face. Get it. Any other time of day, that would have been a statement of intent to rape, but for some reason, there's a colon in them brackets, so it's fine. Welcome to the show. The show is called The Comedian and His Future Wife. Basically, all you need to know to enjoy the show is that my two biggest aims in life, find my wife and become one of the greatest comedians who ever lived. Find my wife and become one of the greatest comedians who ever lived. And they say as a comedian, you're only as good as your last show. And if that were true, my last show should have been my last show. Went up to Cardiff for the weekend. It was terrible. The guys are shows where I fell in love with the city of Cardiff. It's very rare that as a comedian you get a genuine chance to laugh. And while I was there, I laughed twice. It was one for every black person I saw. It blew my mind. I don't know if you guys are aware of this, but whenever black people see each other in areas we don't expect to see each other, everything goes into slow motion. And they were looking at me like I was supposed to have brought a message for them from all the other black people. Dear Negroes of Wales, you are no longer in exile, you may come home. Turns out, they're both reflections of myself in shop windows. So that counts. It counts. Have any of the guys in here ever tried flirting with a bank cashier and then realized she can see your balance? Just me. Cool, right? You know I'm being honest tonight, screw. I'm happy to be here. This is nice. Came up from Croydon, that's where I live. Croydon. Wasn't long ago, I was on my way into central London on my way to do a show. Early Friday evening. And I was on the train, a guy came onto the train, clearly on his way to a night out, except he came onto the train holding a clean, empty pint glass. Don't know if that means anything to you. Maybe as a comedian, I overthink things, but I thought to myself, how much of an alcoholic do you have to be to leave your house with your own pint glass? You're not supposed to turn up with your own equipment. It's like going to a restaurant with your own cutlery, going to a gym with your own weights, going into a marriage with your own thoughts and opinions. These things we given to you. Part of the package. He has a very cynical view about marriage, right? I feel like I've had that many points. I feel like many young guys get it at different points in their life. But saying that, as I was growing up, many people said to me that they thought I was obsessed with marriage, right? My first girlfriend told me she thought I was obsessed with marriage. She said, according to her mum and dad, it was because I was from a broken home. And I said, your mum and dad? That wasn't fair. I never really felt like I was number one candidate to get married, but I just kind of looked forward to it, and I thought it's going to happen one day. So that's how I felt about it. I wasn't necessarily obsessed. But the reason why I might say I wasn't number one candidate is the fact that that first girlfriend, she actually cheated on me. 2 weeks in. Yeah, I know, right? 2 weeks in, first ever relationship, cheated on. As a guy, you kind of feel like it's your fault. Like, 2 weeks, damn. That's not even a BBC miniseries. She's already cheated. I don't know how to describe the pain. Do you guys remember Tamagotchis? Yeah, digital pet. You play with them, you exercise them, feed them. I was so good, I felt like I was going to be a good father one day. That's how good I was with a Tamagotchi. But you put all that work in, you just wake up one morning and it's dead. They never give you no tips, never tell you what you did wrong, anything like that. It's dead. That's how it was with the relationship. 2 weeks, I put in work. She just cheated. No, I couldn't handle it. Found out who the guy was through some mutual friends. Got his number, called him up. Bruv! You know that girl you hooked up with on Saturday? I'm her boyfriend. Teach me, man. How did you make that happen? That was amazing. How did you make that happen? So as I said, one of the reasons I'm doing the show is because I'm trying to become one of the greatest comedians who ever lived. And one of the ways in which I've been trying to do that is I've been trying to work on my impressions. I've been working on one in particular. Would you guys like to see it? Yeah. Good, because I was going to do it anyway. But for this to work, you have to close your eyes. Go ahead and pretend you leave your eyes open. You're just going to ruin a joke for yourselves. Close your eyes. Okay, now open your eyes. That was my impression of my father. Yeah, thank you. Yeah, it's a good impression, yeah. You guys don't know my father, but you're still looking at me like that would be him, yeah. Don't worry, guys, don't worry. Statistically speaking, I want to do the same thing to my kids, so it's fine. Towards the end of last year, I found out I got nominated for a Black Comedy Award. I think it was Best Newcomer, and you guys are correct for not clapping. No. It's patronizing stuff. The reason why I say that is not like I don't appreciate being recognized as a comedian and black. It's just that one of these days, I would like to become one of the greatest comedians who ever lived, not one of the greatest black comedians who ever lived. I just feel like there's no need for this subcategory, like some kind of Paralympics of comedy. I can kick it with the big boys is what I'm saying. But when you do this, you want to be able to talk about where you're coming from, who you are, things that affect you, things on your mind. These things may include my race, but it doesn't fully define me is what I'm saying. But it's like sometimes no matter everything I say, that's all that comes across. And I'll give you guys a couple of examples. First example, earlier on in my career, I entered a diversity comedy competition with Channel 4. Got through to the final. Turned up at the final. There was 3 black guys, a blind guy, and a lesbian in a wheelchair. I'm not making this up. These were the finalists. It was 3 black guys, a blind guy, and a lesbian in a wheelchair. It was diversity, Hunger Games. They made us fight it out for some attention. Now, this isn't even part of the joke, but I genuinely want to ask, because I don't think it plays anymore, but just in case anyone has actually seen it, how many people in here have seen a Barclays Bank advert with a blind comedian using a cash point? Yeah. Have you seen it? Yeah. That's the guy that won. He's a great comic. His name's Chris McCausland, and I'm not bitter about it. I'm just saying, Channel 4 held a diversity competition, and the white man won. Second story I want to tell you is of a time I entered a newcomer competition with a friend of mine, also a black comedian. We happened to be flatmates at the time. I turned up at the venue. I said quite politely to the organizer, I'm sorry, could we go on around the same sort of time so we can catch our train home together? She said, I'm sorry, I can't do that. I'm going to have to put you on in different halves of the show because if I were to put 2 black acts on back to back, it might confuse the audience. Wow. I said, okay, first of all, I'd like to give the general public the benefit of the doubt. That they can figure out what just happened here. Second of all, it's just you who thinks Usain Bolt came first, second, and third. Clearly she's watching the relay like, who is this guy? He's not even passing it on. I mean, it's very easy at that moment to just point the finger at her and say, you're ignorant, you're silly, you're racist. I didn't actually do that. What I did was I used it as an opportunity to check myself. Why? Because I realized, even though I know what it feels like to experience racial prejudice, sometimes I'm just as bad myself. Even with all my attempts to be open-minded, I realize I have one remaining prejudice. I'm going to confess it to you guys. I need you guys not to judge me right now. It's my first step towards healing. I realized whenever I see an older white gentleman with a younger Oriental woman, my first thought is, how much did you pay for her? It's not my fault. It's not my fault. They have mail order brides. I don't know how the situation works out. I'm guessing there's a catalog with pictures and stats. Says this one's tall, she's beautiful, she knows martial arts so she can defend you. I'm gonna make her the next Mrs. Rupert Murdoch. That's how some people find out. I don't know. The thing that made me realize I have this messed up mentality though was the fact that I was sitting in a Starbucks in central London, I was looking out the window, and a white guy walked past with 2 Oriental women. I thought to myself, summer sales are here. 2 for 1 on Thai women right now. He must have saved on the postage and packaging. Which is messed up, right? Like I said. But what I found interesting about that was that I could think something and at the same time know it was wrong. So it made me delve deeper into myself. And I realized something else quite unsavory. Again, I'm going to confess it to you. Again, don't judge me. It's my first step towards healing. I realized sometimes when I'm on the train, I get irritated when I see a woman who I don't find attractive checking herself out in a pocket mirror. I just think to myself, what are you looking at? Why would you remind yourself? Right? It's messed up. I said it was messed up from the beginning. Okay? That's the important thing, the fact that I know it's wrong. Okay? I guess what I took from it is that, look, it's not necessarily wrong for me to want my future wife to be beautiful, but I did have to concede that in our society, we do place a lot of a woman's worth on her looks. Unfairly so, I will admit that. But one thing I also found out about our society, some of you may know this, some of you may not, I'm going to share it with you anyway, because I don't know how women part with this. I found out that companies like L'Oreal use fake eyelashes to sell you mascara. I know, you hear me like that too, it's crazy sometimes. You look closely at the TV advert in the corner, in really small writing, it'll say so-and-so is wearing hair extensions. But she's selling you shampoo. There's something very wrong with that as an advertising standard. And I'll go so far as to say it's a scam. Here's how the scam works. They sell you a substandard, mediocre product. And when it doesn't make that much of a difference to your appearance, you look at the box. And you say, well, she looks amazing. Must be my fault. Maybe I don't have good hair. Maybe I don't have good skin. They keep your self-esteem low, which means you keep buying cosmetic products as genius. I figured that's just the way it works in life, and I needed to learn that. So, every time my girlfriend was upset with me, I showed her a picture of me and my ex-girlfriend smiling. That was a joke, by the way. I didn't actually. So, for the past 5 years or so of my life, I've been going to America every year. I enjoy it out there. I do love America. I love American women. I guess I love the accent. It's amazing. And the first time I went, I feel like I ruined it. I turned it into a one-man competition of how many girls can I pick up with my English accent. As soon as I found out American girls supposedly like the English accent, I was like, oh, really? I wasn't even in the conversation. They were talking about it behind me in the queue somewhere. It's like, oh my God, that British accent is so, oh really? And I'm a Christian, so sometimes when I'm talking, I quote passages from the Bible. When I'm there, I quote passages from the King James Version, just because it sounds more English. I just like accosting girls, like, you do know he maketh me to lie down in green pastures. Don't you mean pastures? I was there recently, and before I tell you guys the rest of this story, I need to find out, is there anyone in here who likes to steal Wi-Fi? Yep, everyone, cool. Right, so I'm sitting in Miami airport, I'm looking for Wi-Fi. Now, all the open networks, the ones that don't require any password, you have to pay for them at some point. So as far as I'm concerned, they don't exist. So I just started scrolling through people's personal networks, just judging people based on the names of their networks. While I was sitting there, I saw the craziest one I've seen so far. There was a guy in Miami airport with the Wi-Fi name, Super Swinger 69. That's not the crazy part. The crazy part is, his network was closed. This guy is willing to share his wife, but not his Wi-Fi. Like he could come home, find another man on top of his wife, and be like, this is hot, I like this. He realizes this guy is recording it on his laptop. He's like, oh, I want to watch this video one day. But the moment he realizes that guy is also streaming it over the internet using his Wi-Fi network, all hell breaks loose. Babes, take that out your mouth. You gave him the Wi-Fi code? I don't know if I can trust you anymore. I'll take the condom off, go put the firewall back on. It wasn't my first time there, is basically what I'm saying. I was there a few years ago. And at the time, I had an American girlfriend, which was tough because of the language barrier. But I was with her. I was with her on the West Coast. And on one particular day, we were walking around Hollywood. We were walking around window shopping. Ended up going through this shopping mall. And as we're walking through the mall, we walked through a section where they're selling male underwear. And for the first time in our relationship, She says to me that she finds my underwear to be boring. I know, hit me hard. 2 reasons. First reason, it's the first time I'm hearing this. In the mall, like, how long have you been thinking this? Second reason, I didn't even know my underwear mattered, right? Like, I get that she likes fancy lingerie, that makes sense to me. But for me, black Calvin Kleins, that's what I wear every day. That's how I rock, man. You know, they're smart, sophisticated, they're comfortable. We know each other well, okay? She could see that it was getting to me, though, so she piped up. She's like, oh, no, baby, no, don't be upset, no. It's not like I hate all your underwear. I really like the black ones with the red pinstripe. And I said, I don't have black underwear with a red pinstripe. She was like, but you must do, because I remember I saw it on you, and I was like, that looks good on you. And I was like, yeah, I know my own underwear. You're digging, I don't have black underwear with a red pinstripe. Now, suffice to say, it's awkward. Because in my head, she's thinking about an ex-boyfriend of hers in his black underwear with the red pinstripe, and he's filling it out. Oh no, it was painful, man. 10 minutes of awkward silence. Then she pipes up, she's like, oh my God, baby, no, you are not gonna believe this. And I'm like, look, whatever you're about to say has to save our relationship. Like, I genuinely wanna hear how you're gonna get out of this one. And she's like, oh my God, you are not gonna believe this. They're my little brothers. And I was like, oh, goodness. I was like, oh my, what? Yeah, that's good enough for me. That's fine. It's the best answer she could have given me. And I've seen a little brother, I could take him. So. Anyway, next week I was about to leave her on the West Coast to go over to the East Coast to carry on doing my shows. We're at San Francisco International Airport. We're at departures. Don't know if you ever realized this, but at departures, there are always couples there. They can't quite say bye to one another. They're usually kissing. They're crying. They're hugging each other. And I hate these people. But I do like going up to them. Just to be like, oh yeah, that's good. Yeah. Oh, keep kissing. Yeah. More time. And when they look at me, like, what the hell are you doing? I go, oh, I'm sorry. Did I make you feel uncomfortable? All of us. But for the first time in my life, I was part of that couple. We were kissing. We were crying. We couldn't say bye to each other. And I thought to myself, there should be a goodbye room in the airport. There should be a room. You go sit down on the sofa. There's a box of tissues to wipe all your tears. Say your goodbyes in private, then be on your way. And then I got on the plane, and I realized I didn't think that through properly. Because I know if any one of us walked into a room with a sofa and a box of tissues, you know there would have been guys in there saying bye to themselves. It's a long flight. I need some me time. So I landed in New York, and while I was there, one of my best friends from uni, her name is Tola, she came out to the show to just basically have a holiday, I guess, and we were hanging out. We went shopping on this particular day, and afterwards I had shows in New York, so she came to the show. She even sat at the back, she even recorded it for me, and afterwards when we were about to leave the venue, 2 pretty young ladies from the audience came up to me, started talking to me. I already told you how I feel about American women. It's going great. In the middle of this conversation, one of them points at her and says, I'm sorry, is that your girlfriend? And I looked where she pointed and I said, oh, no, she's just my friend. Now that's actually what happened. If you ask Tola what happened, she said, is that your girlfriend? I went, oh my goodness. Oh. Why would you, And I threw up on the spot and I ran away. That's how she remembers that event. And I remember, at the time, it was like a big deal. We had like a fight about this. I couldn't understand it. I was like, what's the big? She was like, look, I understand. I know you're right. I'm not your girlfriend, but it's the way you said it. Like I was disgusting. Like it could never happen. And I was like, look, first of all, I didn't even say it like that. But second of all, even if I did, what's the big deal? Girls say that to guys all the time, and guys just figure out either I keep trying or I move on. She's not interested, right? But for me to like say that to you, now it's offensive. Okay, so let me get this right. We can go shopping the entire day. You can treat me like your gay best friend. But now I don't look at you that way. Now it's offensive. What do you need to build your self-esteem? The male gaze or the male gaze? So anyway, I landed back in London after that trip. And while I was there, I ended up breaking up with my American girlfriend. Because what I learned about myself during that time is that I cannot handle long distance relationships. I can't do it. I just feel like you get to a certain age, it's just mad lonely, right? Like going to the cinema becomes a big deal. You try and go with another girl. She's like, you got a girlfriend, it might get messy. I don't know if I want to. You try and go with a guy. He's like, I'm trying to go with a girl. What's wrong with you? I didn't handle it very well, so we ended up breaking up. It wasn't long after that, I was on a train heading back home from a gig. As I got onto this train, I saw a woman sitting there. She's absolutely stunning. She's gorgeous. And I knew I wasn't the kind of guy who's cool, just walk up to her, say something cool, then we live happily ever after. So I figured I'd sit in her vicinity. Maybe by osmosis, something could happen here. So I sat directly in front of her. It's called game. 2 minutes later, she pipes up, I'm sorry, are you Ola the comedian? I was like, whoa, that's it. Thank you. I was like, I made it. I can quit comedy now. This is it. I've become one of the greatest comedians who ever lived. But of course, all I said was, yeah, I am Ola the comedian. I was being cool. I don't know, every time I get cool, I get tired for some reason. Get tired and something in my eye. Yeah, just coming from a show. Smashed it. So we get to talking, turns out she's been to another one of my shows before. She'd even bought my DVD afterwards. As far as I was concerned, at that point, my DVD went platinum. I felt like UKIP in a local election. It was a small victory, but it was a breakthrough for me. So it comes to my stop. I get up to get off the train. She gets up to get off the train. I start walking towards my house. She starts walking in the same direction. Turns out this woman is like 10 minutes away from me. I never noticed that. At this point, I'm convinced my future wife has been under my nose the entire time. And after a while, we started seeing each other, and it was great. For two reasons. First reason, I just come out of a long distance relationship. Now I'm seeing a woman who lives 10 minutes away from me. It's about to be amazing. Second of all, she was what you might call undeniably attractive. This isn't to say that my previous girlfriends weren't attractive. They were. But she was like society had got together at some point to decide, yeah, we can agree on this. Take a picture out just about anywhere. Girls would be like, oh, she's stunning. Guys would be like, that's you, yeah? Okay. Yeah. I took her to church with me, people pulling me aside. Brother Ola, can I speak to you? Brother Ola. Brother Ola, God bless you. Just wanted to let you know that she's stunning. Don't mess that up. Anything that goes wrong, it's your fault. Right? It was amazing. I'm not going to lie. It felt good to be in that situation. Within 9 months, we got engaged. And 3 months later, we broke up. Now, to go into the reasons why that happened and how it happened, I don't feel it's appropriate for a comedy show. Maybe just out of respect, because I was actually going to marry this woman at one point in my life. But what I can do is just tell you the lessons I've learned along the way in life and not attach them to anyone in particular. First lesson, I am never going to trust a woman who carries Imodium in her purse. Now, for those of you who don't know, that's diarrhea medication. I feel like some things should be a surprise. Right? Like if you're expecting diarrhea. To the point where you have the appropriate medication. And it's on you. All times. You're not touching my food. Sometimes I get quite existential on stage. I start wondering, how does this whole thing work? How is it I get a chance to convene these people and I get to say stuff and people listen? My words can go so far as to entertain, maybe even offend. I'm 27. What do I know about life? Why do people even listen to me? I realize it's because I got the microphone, so indulge me. It's my only qualification. Second lesson I'm going to share with you is actually for the ladies. Now, the guys haven't given me permission to tell you this. I'm going to tell you anyway, so don't hate me. I'm just the messenger. The ladies, I need you to follow me on this one. Do the women in here know the feeling I'm talking about when you buy a dress or a pair of shoes that you absolutely love? Yes. But then next week, you see someone else buying it on sale or a discounted price. Yeah, I know this. I know it bugs you. It bugs you. Because you love the dress. You love those shoes. But it bugs you that someone else got it for less. That's exactly how your husband feels when he finds out you've had a one-night stand before. Someone else got it for less. What I'm saying is, it's a small world. Eventually, the two guys are going to meet. The guy's going to be like, oh, you married her. Two Coronas, bro. That's what it took. My favorite thing about that joke is, if you're sitting next to a woman who's offended by that, buy her 2 Coronas. You're welcome. And I don't even say that because I'm somehow misogynistic or I've got something against women or I uphold a double standard. No. I feel like as a society, we went too far with this whole sex thing. We hiked it up too far. We need to cool down. In fact, I'll tell you guys something quite personal about myself. There was a time in my life I stopped having sex. That's right, by choice. 2 reasons. First reason, I genuinely wanted to find my wife. I wanted to find this woman who's so amazing, I'm going to spend the rest of my life with her. And I figured out, even when I find her, I meet her, we get married, there are going to be times in our marriage where we can't have sex. For one reason or the other. She could be ill, pregnant, we're in public, whatever the reason might be. I might not be able to break her off a piece at that moment in time. We're going to need to be able to talk, spend time together, come out to a comedy show together. It makes sense not to go with your penis on this decision and pick someone you can actually spend time with. Second reason is because I'm a Christian. So I said to myself, look, I can't say I want to get closer to God, but I'm still having premarital sex. So I made the personal decision. This is a personal one. I'll stop having sex. But as you can tell, listen. Hear that? See? It's a very awkward thing to tell people in today's society. This kind of thing makes people want to shake your hand, but not want to shake your hand. Kind of like people like automatically assume like if you stopped having sex you must be addicted to pornography and masturbation, and I am, but I'm praying about it, which is most important. The thing is, the hype around sex I got tired of. It gets thrown in your face a lot today. It's sex. It's yours. Go out there and claim it's sex. I felt like an MP who doesn't claim expenses. It's tough. But I'm okay. I learned to deal with it. Here's my thinking. My thinking was, at least in the future when I have sex, it's going to be with my wife. The woman I'm going to spend the rest of my life with. God would smile down on us. And I'd be so clear in my conscience that I could say grace before sex. That was my aim in life. I want to say grace. Figured out I'm doing something right. I can pray before doing it. So I want to be able to call my wife. And my kids. Hold your mom's hand, let's pray. Lord, for what my wife is about to receive. Make her truly thankful. Now, while we are on the subject of sex and pornography, I would like to talk to you a bit about fantasies. Because I feel like in preparation, writing this show, I learned so much about fantasies that apply to fantasies in general, but more specifically male ones, because those are the ones that I mastered. Now, the essence of the fantasy that you need to remember right now is that we want them to be real, but not too real. That's it. Now, I'm going to illustrate this through 2 stories. These stories are very personal stories. Again, don't judge me. It's my first step towards healing. The first story takes place in Miami. I told you I was there before. What I didn't tell you is while I was there, I attended a strip establishment. by the name of King of Diamonds. And fans of King of Diamonds in here. The way it actually happened was I was wandering around Miami by myself late at night, and I bumped into two of my female friends from London. She's laughing, she knows. And they were on their way there, and I was like, hey, this sounds awesome, I'll tag along, whatever. But I set myself some rules. I said, rule number 1, I'm having 1 drink. 2, I'm here strictly on research purposes for this joke I'm writing. And rule number 3, I'm not going to touch any strippers, right? So I went there and actually stuck to my rules, because the thing that you find out when you get there is that such a party atmosphere, the banter that we were having, the laughter and so on, is so good you almost forget there were naked women on stage. They create that party atmosphere there for you. And when we were sitting in the booth together, eventually, my friends got to go and get drinks. So I was sitting there in the booth by myself. And this guy walks over and sits on the edge of the booth, and he brings a stripper over to start getting a lap dance. Now, she's dancing for tips. The more tips you give, the longer the dance goes. He's sitting on the edge like this. She's facing forward. She's grinding on him. She's putting in work. Like, she is the greatest stripper that ever lived. She is working her butt off. And she can feel the appreciation as well as the $1 bills being placed on her buttocks. What she doesn't realize is that, in fact, it is the same 4 $1 bills the guy has in rotation. And he puts it on, waits for it to drop on the floor, picks it back up. But he made $4 last half an hour. It was amazing. It was amazing to watch. Now, she didn't realize this until the end of the dance. He gets up, he walks away. She sat there, she looks around for her money, she starts counting it. And she's sitting there. This weird moment happening. She's sitting there, she counts through her $4. And then she turns to me like, have you got the time? And that freaked me out. What do you mean about this? It's $4 and half an hour later than when you started. Like, how do you know if I got the time? See, no one turns up at a strip club early to watch them set up. Why? Because it ruins the fantasy. Strippers don't wear wristwatches. Why does she need to know what time it is? Next thing she's going to tell me, she's going to relieve the babysitter. She's stripping for diaper money. What kind of selfish entertainer uses their platform to discuss their problems? Second story I'm going to tell you is of a time I was on a pornographic cinematic adventure. In this particular piece, the lead actress is playing the role of a schoolgirl, and she was supposed to bunk off school with her friends, right, and meet up. Her friends ditched her. She's standing by herself. A guy approaches her and says, hey, I know that uniform, I used to go to that school. That's all she needs to know. She takes him home for a game of hide the sausage. Now, this is all under one proviso. The proviso was that he would not come to fruition inside of her. And he lied. That's exactly what he did. Right after the game of testicle tennis, she's there investigating herself, and he's just like putting his trousers on and getting out. She's like, what? You said you wouldn't what? He's like, yeah, I'll call you. And he runs out. Screen face to black. Then the text 9 months later appears on the screen. I'm thinking to myself, this should have ended like 3 seconds ago. What's going on? And comes back up, she's walking down the street, she's pushing a stroller. She's pushing the stroller, she bumps into the same guy. She's like, it's your baby, you owe me money. He's like, I don't know you. He's like, no, you said you were gonna call me, it's your baby, you owe me money. He runs off again, screen face to black, end the scene. I'm thinking to myself, who is watching porn and looking for the moral of the story? There is no room for cautionary tales in this genre. But again, you want the fantasy to be real, but not too real. After saying that, I realized I just told you guys I went to a strip club and watched porn. You'll run silent now. You want your comedians to be real, but not too real. So basically what I realized about myself was that I'd become too good at the fantasy. If I was serious about getting married, I had to get real about it. And the way in which I did that was I started to write it down in real points. Things I wanted to do for my wife, things I want my wife to do for me, things I'd like us to do together. And I wrote that in the form of a letter. It's called Dear Future Wife by Allah. And Now it's available as an ebook. So yeah, go get that. Kindle. Kobo, PC, Mac, iPad, whatever you need it for, it's under £3. Truth about the book is, it's not that funny, but you don't realize until you've already downloaded it. So go get that, is what I'm saying. Now, what some of you may realize, if you just maybe observe it, maybe just closer to the front, you may have realized that the philosophy actually worked, because I found her and I got married last December 2013. Thank you very much. What you may or may not also know is the fact that you guys already know who she is, because I only mentioned one woman's name throughout the entire show. I married my best friend Tola. That came out to New York with me. And thank you. And for many of you, she may be the one showing you to your seats. She's around here somewhere. Where she is. But yeah, they don't care anymore about you. They stopped clapping. I'm sorry. I tried to do it. But for me, I feel like we were friends since uni. There were many times where we probably should have known, right? He had a lot of the things that make the rom-com sound good. And my name is Ola, her name is Tola. I used to call her me with a T. She called me me with no T. And that's what we got inspired on the inside of our wedding rings. And shortly after we got married, I found out that her birthday is the day after Michelle Obama's birthday, and my birthday is the day after Barack Obama's birthday. You know what that means? Yeah. Absolutely nothing. Yeah, we're still paying rent. There's no guest room at the White House. We had to have a very real relationship. From even when we were friends, we'd go out to Tesco and buy food and cook together. Not just fancy meals out, you know, just the kind of person that I could talk to, spend time with, come out to a comedy show with. It made sense. I feel like when I found her, I found my black Calvin Kleins. We know each other well. I was right, she was under my nose the entire time. From the beginning of the show, I feel like I've been telling you two stories, but I've been telling you the same story twice, right? Like, I told you I wanted to become one of the greatest comedians who ever lived, and I told you I wanted to find my wife. And they both started off the same way, right? Like I was bombing on stage, and I was getting cheated on. Things were bad. Then things started to look up, like the dreams started to come true, but not in a way that was feasible. I started to win awards, but not the right type of awards. I started to date women that fulfilled aspects of my perfect woman, but it didn't work out in the end. So what I learned from it is that essentially if you want to be happy in life, you have to find a way to marry your fantasies and your realities. You need both. Trying to do fantasy with reality is just fruitless and frustrating. Trying to do reality without fantasy is just dull, boring, right? You need both of them in your life. Another thing I'd like to add to this is, just to let you guys know, to wrap things up, is that before I got married, I got in touch with my father. And I'm happy to say we stayed in contact. And the thing is, when you... I don't know who you're applauding here, but... I guess he'll take that round of applause wherever he is for coming back. But eventually you just have to have that serious conversation, you know? You have to talk it up like what happened. And as it turns out, he never had a Tamagotchi growing up, so it's not his fault. And I guess at this point is when people usually ask me, so how's married life? Well, I say married life is awesome. This is an amazing thing. I feel like it doesn't get said much from the comedy stage, so I really want to take the opportunity to say it. That look, marriage can be an amazing thing when it's done well. And I feel like I only got to understand this when I changed my way of thinking. Like before I got married, I wasn't necessarily the best with commitment. My wife, being my best friend for 7 years, she knows this. She likes to tease me about it. She finds it funny. Like recently, I was about to fly to Dubai for some gigs. I was trying to get train to the airport, train station. I asked for a single ticket to Gatwick. She jumped in. Ha ha ha. You can't buy single tickets anymore. You're a married man now. I said, exactly. There's no return. But basically, I just said to myself, look, I'm going into 2014 a married man. What am I going to do differently? How am I going to change? What decisions am I going to take? And to be honest, I only really came to one decision. And that was, as soon as I got married, I banned everybody from calling me. Apart from my wife. Changed my voicemail entry. This is Ola's phone. For sex, press 1. For cuddling, press 2. To hear these options again, press 1. I'm gonna wrap this up, but there's a couple things I want to say before I go. First thing I want to say is just thank you. Thank you to everybody who came out, because you didn't have to come and sit down and listen to how I found my wife, or this whole story, this whole set. And I genuinely appreciate everyone who made it tonight. You all mean a lot to me. Thank you very much. Just for me as a comedian, sometimes you're standing over there, for example, and you have people sitting here waiting to hear what you have to say. There's a moment where you ask yourself, like, why am I doing this? Why am I speaking to these people? What's my purpose here? And I realized, at least on my part, I do it for the look on your faces. Just for the hope that some of you may enjoy yourselves. That's why I like to scan back and forth when I'm performing, just to see how you're getting on. Different points during my set, kind of realized 90% of you are enjoying it, and 10% don't understand percentages, which is fine. On my target market, that's what I'm saying. I did manage to find at least one person who barely laughed. So sort of spent most of the time, arms crossed, staring right back at me, real miserable. I'm not going to look at you now, point you out, you know exactly who you are. I just wanted to let you know. Well done, you got to me, it hurts. I'm heartbroken. I guess it's my fault, because in a room full of 99 people laughing, I always tend to see the one person who isn't. It bugs me. I'm a perfectionist. It makes me want to jump out right there and then, in the middle of the joke, and do feedback. What did I do wrong? How could I be better? How could I be funnier, smarter? How could I make you laugh? Tonight, came to the conclusion, it's your fault. Because I was hilarious. You paid no money. Came to a comedy show, you didn't laugh, joke's on you. Either way, all I'd really ask of you right now is just to decide if you enjoyed the show. Whether you're watching it on DVD or you're here in the audience, please just decide if you watched the show, if you enjoyed it. And if you did, there's a few things you can do to help me out. First thing you could do is just tweet me. Just tweet me at Ola the Comedian, Ola the Comedian. Say, hey Ola, I enjoyed your show because of XYZ, and it gives me something to work towards for the next one. And use the hashtag TCAHFW. It's all on the wall there. You can use it. And it helps me to get everything together. Second thing you could do, and this is just for if you're a nerd, a bit of a geek like me. When I like a TV show or movie, I like to go read the Wikipedia page just to find out, all the stuff I may have missed, all the references, or the imagery, all that kind of stuff. So what I actually did for this show is I wrote the annotations. It has all the imagery I'm supposed to use, I'm alluding to. It has all the real stories behind the jokes I'm telling. It has links to all the videos I mentioned. So yeah, you can go to olathecomedian.com and check that out. And the last thing you could do, well, the third thing you could do, is just shout about it. Just tell someone. Share the DVD with somebody. Go out and tell somebody, I watched Ola's show the other day. I really enjoyed it. That helps. Yeah. Lastly, if you didn't enjoy the show, I would have said everything is self-indulgent or egocentric is what I just said before. If you didn't enjoy the show, it's even more important to come and find me and let me know. Because as I said before, I would like to become one of the greats one day, so I do need your feedback. Just go ahead, give me some constructive criticism. Tell me what I could have done better, and I'll show you a picture of an audience absolutely loving you. Thank you guys very much. My name's Ola.
We just learned to swim at the deep end. Be the love of my life for a weekend. Something about your eyes make you special. Here's a toast, come close, look, I've got something to tell you. She said,
That was a great show, Ola. Nice one, yeah. Keep up the good work here. Now keep following you and keep attending your shows. Nice one. Peace.
That was a fantastic show. I love his brand of humor. It's intelligent, it's funny, it's hilarious. Wonderful. You know what they say about laughter? That's life's elixir. That rocked.
Congratulations on an amazing show, Ola. You were hilariously funny. Your jokes are very intelligent, which makes it all that better. Well done.
It was lots of fun. Ola is phenomenal. I had lots of laughs every time I come to one of Ola's comedies. It's fun and exciting.
Do you know, it's my first time seeing Ola perform, and I must say it was a fantastic show. I'll definitely be following him around for his next shows. Definitely going to shout him out on Twitter, following him. He's got a YouTube channel as well. I'll be following and subscribing to. But yeah, definitely, it's a good show, man.
Hey Ola, that was an amazing show. I really loved it. Like, I didn't know what to expect when I came here today, but it was really amazing. Your journey, which you took to meeting your wife, finding your wife, and like I learned quite a lot of it, and it was so funny as well, man. Keep up the good work, bro, and I look forward to any future shows that you put on as well.